Alright, we are back with another stunning episode of Will It Space. And this one's called Tin Can. One of the few commenters to my videos said, why don't you try to fly a tin can? And I think he meant it as a joke. But it seemed as good as idea as anything I've ever come up with, so we're gonna try to fly a tin can. Now, I've never built a tin can before, so it's going to be fairly round and tin can-like. Where do you put control surfaces on a tin can? I have no idea. How much fuel do you need to put a tin can in space? I have no idea. So we're probably going to overbuild and ask questions later. Yeah, we're not going to use those solid rocket boosters though. That might have been a bit much. Struts, panels, more struts, and more panels. Now I was giving this thing about a 0% chance of flight. I figured something would rip off. The aerodynamics would just be like sending an elephant from a catapult. Just pretty much ineffective engineering, which is what I'm very good at. Well, here we go. Miss Nina Kerman, take her away. See what happens. As always, the goal is to get to space. And as always, the bonus is to return home alive. And it's at this moment of the flight where I realized I put no parachutes anywhere on this thing. So the second point seems to be, let's call it elusive. Now at this point of the flight, nothing's happened, and it's been boring. I haven't even touched the control panel yet, the control surface. Nothing. SAS is barely moving. This thing actually flew reliably through the heaviest part of the atmosphere, which it should not have, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm onto some new aerodynamic theory here. But this looks like the equivalent of sticking your hand outside a quickly moving car window and just slamming the air. All I really had to do so far was manage the throttle a bit to keep my G-forces intact, because I suspect this thing would not perform well under a heavy G load, but stranger things have happened. There's the moon. Imagine if this thing could moon. It's a moon base. You could land and just roll around. It's like a huge pulverizing moon rover. Alright, so at this point of the flight, I'm feeling pretty good that this thing's going to go vertical, because I've yet to touch a control panel, because I'm pretty much terrified to even consider tapping anything at this point. I get the feeling this thing would overreact to any disturbance in whatever aerodynamic world it exists. Now the concern here is starting to get to be, do I have enough fuel? And I have like 500 orange tanks in the middle, but obviously it's it probably takes a lot of fuel to put this thing up this high. Now I lost a lot of my engines and I only have the middle engine left, which is bizarre to me because I thought I had ran the plumbing from all the tanks to all the tanks, but I got lucky, and that single tank at this point of the atmosphere was enough to maintain a pretty good vertical speed, which I was going to need if I was going to be able to coast this thing into space. And it started to roll there, and I thought I was dead. But by the magic of a flying cake pan, it works. And I look to be set for an official orbit. Well, an orbit trajectory. Surely I won't have enough fuel for that. Alright, so we are approaching the orbit, well, at least the space goal here. 53,000 feet and counting. A little bit of fuel left, but at this point it's almost guaranteed that this thing is actually going to space in its first attempt. I don't think I've done that yet. I don't think I'll do that again. What the hell am I going to build next? I don't know. This wasn't supposed to fly. This was supposed to be a... Look at it. It's kind of pretty under the sun. Ooh, ominous. Looks like a flying gumdrop. And there we have it. We are in space and nothing blew up. That was far too easy and far too boring. Well, now the mission has switched in tone because we are going to re-enter and we have no parachutes. Let's take a look around. You know you can read that note on the PC. I don't know why you can't see it on a PS4. At least I remember seeing them on the PC. Usually it's something about, hey Jeb, I forgot to pack the chutes. Haha, Bill. Which would actually be accurate here. We're going to zoom ahead here, speed up time, and get to the point where we start headed back down. Now the plan here is... I had the realization that this thing is shaped a bit like a big metal parachute. So we're going to try to go retrograde and try to catch some atmosphere and just see what happens on the way down. I'm also not very hopeful that this thing doesn't explode, because it doesn't look like it's made to re-enter the atmosphere. Especially straight, pretty much straight down like I'm going, so. Alright, back down to single speed so we can watch this thing in all its glory. Actually, it's double speed. I run all the films at double speed to spare you the boredom of one-time speed. There's the gumdrop dropping out of the sky. Alright, we have a vertical velocity approaching 1,000 meters per second straight down, which is probably not ideal for a trash can. At some point here we are going to... I thought we'd be catching a little atmosphere by now. Still maintaining that 1,000 meter per second drop, which is... okay, here we go. Seriously, what's the over-under this thing doesn't explode? I thought surely it would just let go. Those struts up, the struts on top are working overtime. Now it looks like a pot on a hot stove. This looks like anything but a spaceship. The pilot looks blissfully unaware of any of this based on where she's sitting. She has no idea there's a fireball contained inside her ship. Alright, so it did not and will not explode on re-entry. And it's not tumbling out of control. So there is an actual opportunity that this thing might grab enough air inside to make this possible. And I have one short burst of fuel left. This is like the most screwed up, failed attempt to be a SpaceX competitor as you could ever hope to have. Alright, 6,000 feet. The vertical speed is dropping. We're down to, where are we, 100 and something? Can't see. But it's come down significantly. The problem is I don't know how high these mountains are. Trying to find my shadow. How's that? That's good technology. Judge your height by your shadow. I can't find my shadow. Alright. Things are about to get violent. This thing's actually going to slow itself down to about 100 meter per second descent, which is... Alright, here we go. Oh, we are spinning still. Stop spinning. Don't crush her. Don't crush her. Oh, that's a good cabin. Whoever built that one gets a small bonus. Well, there you have it. We have somehow flown this thing to space without touching a control one time and managed to re-enter it without exploding and landed, I'm going to call this landed successfully without any parachute. I'm amazed. Can I get out of here? I'll probably get run over by it, but it's still moving. Let's probably get run over by it. There we go. Proof of life. Nina jumping. Alright, let's go home, ship. Let's walk there. You slide, I'll walk. Slowly. Well, there you have it. We spaced and we got back. I would have thought none of those happened. Alright, catch you next time.